Carrie here. It is about to be 6 o'clock on Valentine's Day, and I'm just about to start a new reading vlog. I do have the next week off from school, and I'm kind of in a unique position where I kind of did a bunch of planning before I left, so I actually really have like very few things I have to do for the next week. I want to do a couple of show things, like I'm directing a show, so I want to kind of get a little bit prepped for that, and I want to kind of prep my last 2 units, so I'm kind of in like a better spot than I normally am. But that means that I do have a lot of time for reading. And I have a lot of books on my TBR for this month. A lot of them are books that I got from ALA Midwinter, and they're romance books. I was kind of in a goal to like read a lot of romance themed books for this month, and I'm kind of doing a pretty good job. I'm really ahead on my reading challenge, so I'm gonna try to get as much books done for the next 2 weeks as possible, and I'm gonna dive back into the fantasy books that I've been avoiding. But I just wanted to catch you guys up on what I'm reading. I'm listening to the second To All the Boys I Loved Before book by Jenny Han, which I'm really liking. And I'm also just about to start The Bookworm Curse by Lisa Brown Roberts. I got this for Christmas from my Secret Santa. This is the same author that wrote The Replacement Crutch, and I think that Amy and Toph were in that book. But I have a physical copy of this one, and so I'm going to dive into this. I know it's about a girl named Amy who really wants to, like, meet her favorite author and, like, interview him, even though he's, like, very, very, like, um, he hasn't spoken out in years, but she's determined to interview him. But she's painfully shy, so she kind of hires a competition coach named Toph Nichols, and I think it leads to romance. So this book is not that long. It's, like, 360 pages. So I'm going to keep reading. I have a bunch of backlog of booktube videos that I must watch, so I'm just going to put them on as background noise and kind of make a little bit of a dent in this book, and I will let you guys know my progress. Check it in like maybe like an hour and let you guys know, or like maybe when I get like 50 pages in and just let you guys know my thoughts. But that's what I'm going to do, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. I'm back in my Spider-Man shirt, just because it's got a little bit colder than I would like. But it is 7:19, and I did make a little bit of reading progress on The Bookworm Curse by Lisa Brown Roberts. This is actually the second book in a companion series. The Replacement Crush is the first one that I will eventually get around to reading because I do like those characters a lot. But this is a book that I'm currently reading. I wanted to try it through. Definitely has to do with book loving and book blogging, and I'm so always into books about reading because, as you guys know, I love to read, and I am such a reader. And I always read. I love reading books about readers because it makes me feel like a little bit more connected to them. But it basically follows this girl named Amy, and she's kind of dealing with the fact that she wants to win a contest to meet one of her favorite authors that's a little bit reclusive. So she winds up becoming involved in this contest that puts her in a somewhat dangerous position that kind of like puts her in place with her crush, which she isn't expecting. And it's set in the summer. She has a best friend who was the star of the first book, which her name is Vivi. You do get both characters' point of views. I'm really like that. I love dual contemporary books that have male and female point of views because I think that you learn a lot about the characters. Toph's a surfing god who's dealing with a lot of stuff about his dad. His dad's getting remarried, ironically, to Viv's mom. So he has that going on. There is a cute little brother in this book as well that I'm really, really liking. But there's just a lot about reading. There's a lot of shout outs to like popular fantasy series like Harry Potter, To All the Boys I Loved Before, The Gallagher Girls. So a lot of books that I have currently read or have read in the past or want to read are in here. But I like her as a character. She's a character that thinks about books a lot, which I really, really like. So I'm about 45 pages in, and it's about book blogging too, and I am a book blogger, so I like books about that. So I'm actually going to go read a little bit more and check back in when I'm on page 100, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here, I'm back. It's like 8:45, and I did get up to about page 100 in the Bookworm Crush. Guys, this book is, again, a book for book lovers. Like, I'm really enjoying it. It's also a lot about self-confidence, and that's something that I have long struggled with in my life. I have not always been a more confident person. If you ask the students in my class, I still lack confidence when it comes to talking in front of large groups of people, even though I'm a teacher. But I really do like the dynamics between these characters. I like how this book really does focus on the book community and also on very, very popular book series. I like that. I think that it reminds me of like a real teenager. And it's just fun. I just love that they're both dealing with such different things. I definitely want to go and read The Replacement Crush because the characters are in this book, so that's probably one I'm going to add to my shopping list eventually. But I'm really enjoying it. I've got about 100 pages in. I really do like Amy as a main character. I do like Toph as like her coach. I just think it's a really interesting concept for a book. I'll be curious to see if she does meet the author, what that relationship is like. But back to reading I'll go, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Back in, I did actually wind up watching a bunch of booktube videos, which I'm really excited about. I still have to watch a couple of them. But I did wind up getting up to page 150 in the Bookworm Crush. This book is just so fun. I love books about reading. I love books about characters. There's also was like an unexpected plot twist with Toph's character. Toph's a surfer and something happened and it kind of like changed his game. Also, Toph is currently helping Amy with a project to meet her favorite author. And there are a couple of different steps in it. And there's the last step that I know how it's going to go, but I'm curious to see if it's going to like subvert my expectations. I'm really liking the side characters in this book. You're also getting a lot of information about Toph's background, which I'm really enjoying. And the friendship dynamics in this book is getting to be super fun. But I'm loving like the Bookstagram posts, how social media is becoming a factor in this read. I'm loving how Amy is changing and her character is developing, and I'm just really enjoying it. So I'm gonna go. I have to watch like 2 more hours of videos. So I'm really gonna try to dive in and read as much as I can. It's also gonna be freezing tomorrow, like very, very cold, and I'm still getting over like being sick because I work around children, so I might not even leave my house tomorrow, and I'm probably just gonna try to tackle as many reads as I can tomorrow. That's probably gonna be my goal. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to reading, and when I get up to page 200, I will check back in. That is. Lori here. I'm just gonna check back in. I'm actually gonna put down my book for the night. I want to watch the end of the Reagan reading vlog that I'm watching, and then I'm thinking I'm gonna watch Lock and Key, I think, which is a Netflix series. But I did get up to page about 170 in the Bookworm Crush. I will definitely finish a majority of this book tomorrow, if not complete it. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow and let you guys know what I read up in the morning. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Here I'm back. It's like almost 9 o'clock on Sunday or Saturday. So I just woke up. I took a shower. I'm starting to like clean my room. I really have let my room go between going to ALA, not really being in my house. So I'm just gonna kind of take a couple of hours and really like clean my room, organize, kind of take some books off my shelf that I don't think I'm gonna read. That's kind of what I'm gonna do right now. That's my plan of attack. I also did make a little bit of progress on the Bookworm Crush. I'm now on page 176. I'm really liking this book. I'm really liking the dynamics between the characters. I like how focused it is on a reader's life. I like the unexpected connection between these characters. And I like how it's kind of a blast to the past romance, like in a little bit of a sense. I definitely do want to read The Replacement Crush by this author because I would love to get the other character story eventually. But I'm also listening to Fandom Buzz, which is from Mackie and Alexa from Alexa Loves Books. And I'm kind of going to organize my room, take a bunch of books off my bookshelf, and kind of decide what I really want to focus on before BEA. I did get a bunch of books from my friends as well, so I'm going to kind of like organize that stuff. But when I'm back, I should be able to spend the rest of the day reading. I have to take a couple of Instagram photos, and tomorrow I'm actually going to go out and do some errandy stuff, but today it's just too cold, and I don't feel like going out leaving. So, unless it gets miraculously warm, then I'll go for a bike ride. But I'm going to go do that, and when I update you guys, I'll be back to reading. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Lori here. I'm back. I did wind up cleaning my room a little bit, which was good. I wound up going through my bookshelves, which I actually really needed to do. And kind of taking the books off that I don't think I'm going to get around to reading, which is hard when you're a book lover, especially hard when you're me, because I have literally been collecting books since I was little. So I have books on my shelves that like, you know, I had a period of my life where I went to a lot of book signings, and when I went to book signings like that, I got a book signed from every single author, which was really nice to support the authors, but some of the books just didn't capture my attention immediately, and then I never got around to reading them, and now the book series are like 5 books in, and I'm like, I really need to go through my shed when it gets a little bit warmer and kind of pull those series out that I don't think I'm ever going to start. But I did get rid of 2 boxes. And I'm going to dive back into reading. I did listen to 2 of Alexa Loves Books podcast episode, which I was really happy that I was at when I caught up on. Still not caught up by any means. But I am going to dive back into the Bookworm Crush and watch her physical video and watch maybe a true crime video, and then maybe dive back into the Bold Type and a couple of other TV shows that I have been neglecting. But I'll catch you guys up when I get back to reading. Bye, guys. Hey, Lori here. It's 10:32, and I did get about 200 pages into the Bookworm Crush. I really do like Amy as a character. I think she reminds me a little bit more of me. When I was younger, I was definitely a little bit more on the shyer side, and I definitely was all caught up in my books. I still am, but that's kind of my life. I like that she has a character that is willingly to force her out of her comfort zone. For me, I did have someone like that in my life, but it was a girlfriend of mine that just was very, very into pushing me. I love the use of what he's doing, and I like the romance that is developing between them. I think it's very, very sweet. I like how it's still very, very focused on the book world. I'm really liking it. I've read a couple books about that recently, about the book world, and I'm really enjoying it. I really just like it. I think it's a fun read. I really like the side characters as well. I like that this book takes place over the summer. I love the surfing element. I love that this book has dual point of view characters. I really like that. I love getting into both characters' heads because their character backgrounds are so different. So I'm going to check in when I'm on 350 or 250, I guess. And I'll let you guys know my thoughts then. I'm also watching Flash, Supergirl, Batgirl, all those shows, so I can have them all watched, and then I'm going to move back onto my Hulu shows. So, talk to you guys in a bit. Here, I'm back. It's about 1 o'clock, and I did make a bit more progress on the Bookworm Crush. I'm now on page 250. This is definitely a longer book for a contemporary, I will say that. And I do like that. It has some pros and cons, because there's a very specific timeline in this book, but other, timeline elements of this book keep getting added. So I understand why it's so long, but the timeline is definitely a longer timeline than a normal, contemporary. Normal book contemporaries take place over, I would say 2 to 3 weeks, or there's a big event at the end, and the events in this book keep getting elongated. You're actually getting a lot more information about Toph or Christopher in the second half of the book than you did in the first half of the book. The first half of the book was very, very much about Amy, but I am liking that. I'm enjoying it. I'm curious to see how this book goes. I'm curious to see how the surfing elements kind of revolve itself and the bookstagram elements kind of resolve itself. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely not my favorite, but I do love the book world a lot. I definitely want to go back and reread the other book, or read the other book in the series, the first book. But yeah, I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I get up to page 300. Bye, guys. Right here, I'm back. I'm about to do a quick workout, which I haven't been doing this week, so I'm going to try to be a little bit better with that. I did get up to about page 310 in the Bookworm Crush. I'm really liking this. I'm at the tail end of this book. I have about 50 pages left. I'm definitely going to tackle the rest of this read today. I am enjoying it. I do like the world building. I think the book was could have been a little bit more of a condensed story. I felt like the structure of it was a little bit awkward at points. Just a little bit structurally, but other than that, I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to go probably finish it, go work out, finish it, and then I'll come back and choose my next read. Talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here, it's almost 5:30. I did wind up having some dinner. I did work out. I actually have about 30 pages left in the Bookworm Crush, and then I think I'm gonna kind of change up my TBR a little bit because I feel a little bit burnt out on contemporaries, but I have hit the climax of this book, so I'm curious to see how this book winds up ending. I know that this is a companion book, so I'll be curious to go back and read the previous book in the series. But I do like it. It definitely wasn't my favorite contemporary, but I do love the book lover world that Lisa was able to create. And I'm really liking it. So I'm going to go back to dive into my book, and I will come back when I'm done. Bye, guys. Here, I'm back. It is 6:17, and I did actually wind up finishing The Bookworm Crush by Lisa Brown Roberts. I actually wound up really liking this book. I love books that deal with a book lover's life, because I feel as book lovers, they're not always represented opposite-wise. I think book lovers are not always featured in books, especially to this extent. I really like the setup of it. I thought the characters were really, really nice. I like that we got dual perspectives. The formatting of this book was sometimes a little bit harder to follow because it didn't have normally it's every chapter is a different character and it has a name or some like distinguishing factor. So sometimes I kind of got a little bit confused about whose head I was in, but I really liked it. I thought it definitely a little bit. I mean, it's a 400-page book. I think it could have been slimmed down a little bit. I think I will definitely go back and read the other one because there's a couple that I know now. But I thought it was a very, very fun read. Definitely a 3.75 star read. One that I would read again by another author. So I've been reading contemporary books all month. I think I had like 1 or 2 books that I didn't. My listens haven't been contemporaries. But since Valentine's Day is over and I do have a week off from school, I'm going to choose from the next 7 books just to read for my next read. And then if I'm really feeling like I want to go back to contemporary, I will. But here are the 7 books that I'm going to choose from. I'm going to choose from Robin Hobbs, The Assassin's Apprentice. I know Reagan from Peruse Project recently read this and actually wound up really enjoying it. And I've been trying to diversify my reading plans. And this book is 400 pages. So, also, Keeper of the Lost Cities Nightfall is another one that is high on my list because I really, really am liking the series. And I am like 2 books behind, well, 3 books behind now. So I would like to catch up. And I am listening to a podcast that they have caught up. So I'm fearful of spoilers, to be honest. Also, Going Viral by Amy Outward, which is the 3rd book in the Potion Diary series, is another one that I really would like to read. And it's the 3rd book in a series, so I think it's the concluding novel. This is a series that I started 2 years ago at this point that I would love to finish. I'm trying to put these in order because I have them in a very, very specific order. Another book that is in the process of coming out or just came out is A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kimmerer, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. This is the sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which I loved. So I would really, really like to read this one. I know that Gray is a main character in this, and I think there's a character named Leah Marie. So that's all I know. But I'm excited to see about that. Another book that I have added to this pile is Havenfall by Sarah Holland. This comes out in March, but it is her new fantasy novel. Another one that I heard about from Alexa Love Books is Where Dreams Descend, and the tag is Moulin Rouge meets Phantom of the Opera, and Sherwood by Megan Spooner, which is a Maid Marian Robin Hood retelling. And I'm a little bit hesitant to do this, but I am also going to add Lord of Shadows on here. I do have a physical book, so I'm going to choose from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books, and when I come back, I'll let you guys know what I'm reading next. Bye, guys. So I did actually wind up picking up Sherwood by Megan Spooner. I will admit I didn't love her Hunted book at all, but I do love her books when she's co-writes with Amy Kaufman. So I'm going to give this book like 50 pages and see how I feel about it. And if I'm not in the mood right now, I'll pick up something different. But I am going to try because I am trying to get better at reading my backlists. But yeah, so I'm going to go watch a YouTube video just so background noise so I can like really read like 50 pages and see how I feel about it. And then I'll come in here and let you guys know my thoughts. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here, I decided to check in a little bit earlier because I wanted to tell you guys a little bit more. I got this at New York City Comic Con 2 years ago. So I got this a while. I got this it came out. So I got this 2 years ago. Not this year, last year. This is a Robin Hood retelling. This is the 2nd book in Megan Spooner's series. The first one was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but this one I'm actually really liking. So basically it follows this, Maid Marian. She is set to marry Robin Hood. However, her life is kind of turned on its head when it's revealed that Robin has died. And she's kind of trying to pick up the pieces, and it's interspersed between parts of the book from Robin's point of view in the past and Maid Marian in the present. It's definitely like a fairy tale, historical fiction inspired read, but I'm really liking it. I'm liking that we get both point of views. I'm really like marrying so far. I'm sure she's gonna take up a boat and become Robin Hood at some point. It's probably just a guess, but the cover kind of leads me in that direction. But I'm gonna keep reading and I'll let you guys know my thoughts in a little bit. Bye. Here I'm back. It's about 1:13. I just got home from yoga and I went to drop to the library. I am in the middle of reading Sherwood. I got up to page 62. I'm liking it. I think the pacing is definitely a little bit slower than I would like right now. But I am enjoying it. This book has changed a little bit. So Maid Marian was married to Robin Hood. Robin Hood was killed at the very, very start of the book. Her maid, one of her maids, has a brother named Will Scarlet, who was set to be killed at the start of the novel. But when she finds out that he's on the run, she kind of makes up her mind to go find him so he's not killed. She's also dealing with an unexpected marriage proposal that she doesn't really want, especially after Robin has died. I will admit, I do like the writing style a lot more in this book than I did in Hunted. I thought that writing style I just couldn't get into. I didn't feel super connected to the characters. I do like this because every once in a while you get a chapter from Robin's point of view, like at the start of their relationship. And I do like that she's very much her own character, so I am going to read a little bit more. I'm going to probably make up with my mind when I get up to page 100 what I do think, if I'm going to keep reading this or I'm going to put it down. But I did also pick up 2 books from the library. One is The King's Questioner by Nikki Katz. And this is a book about a king. Kaelin is a mental pickpocket. But when I think his friend falls ill, he has to go on an adventure to find a princess to save his life, I think. And I also picked up Lucky Caller by Emma Mills, which is a contemporary book about a radio broadcast class. Very, very similar to Listen to Your Heart by Casey West. But I hope I like this one better. I wasn't the biggest fan of her Small Town Hearts book. So these are the 2 books that I picked up from the library. If you've been following my blog and my Instagram, my posts have been a little bit sporadic. So I'm going to try to prep as many posts as I can. And when I'm done, I'm going to go back to reading. So when I get up to my reading part of the day, I'll come back and update you guys. Talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here I'm back. Sorry, my hair's a little bit messy. But I did wind up doing all my posting stuff, which was exciting. I am going to dive back into Sherwood by Megan Spooner. About 62 pages in. I'm going to put on a true crime episode of something that I've watched in the past and see if I can get to page like 100. And then I'm going to go back to watching some shows on Hulu. So I'm going to do that. When I get to page 100, I'm going to decide if I'm going to keep reading this book or move on to something else. I am liking it. I'm liking the pacing. Just may not be what I'm in the mood to read. So I'm going to decide on that, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts in about maybe like 40 minutes to an hour. Bye, guys. Here, I'm checking back in. It's almost 4 o'clock, and I did want to making a bit more progress on Sherwood. I'm now on page 104. I think I'm gonna stick with this read. I think I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely enjoying it more than Megan Spooner's previous book in the series. Basically, what this book is generally about is that what happens when Maid Marian has to become Robin Hood in some instances, and I'm really liking that. She's basically a woman caught in a very, very precarious situation, and it's really focusing on her finding her own worth. It's her taking charge of her own identity, and it's her basically taking up the mantle of Robin Hood, which I'm really liking. And also, you get parts of this book that are told from Robin Hood's point of view, like in the past, as him and Maid Marian are meeting. You have the character of Will Scarlet in this. You have the character of the Sheriff of Nottingham in this. So it's like a very, very like interesting take on it, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really loving Marian's character. I'm loving the flashback moments to the previous world of like Maid Marian and Robin Hood getting to know each other. But yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm on page 104. This book is like close to 500 pages long. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll give you guys an update in a little bit. Bye, guys. Flurry here. So I'm actually gonna put this book down for a little bit at least, and I'm gonna pick it back up when I go back to work. Just because I have longer commutes and I have a lot more time to devote to longer reads. So to get up to page 161, I was just thinking that I want to focus on some shorter reads because I know I can read them in this week that I'm off, and focus less on reads that are very, really long. This book is like close to 500 pages. It's quite a long read. And the pacing isn't just what I want right now. So I am definitely going to read it, especially when I go back to school. I'll definitely finish it before the month of February. But since I do have a couple of days off or a week off, I want to really focus on reads that I can finish at a quicker pace. So I'm going to choose my next read and let you guys know what it is. I don't normally DNF books, but I've been trying to get better at reading what I want, and my head's just not on this book right now. So I'm going to go choose my next read, and I will pick up Sherwood on Sunday. Bye, guys. I'm really excited that I wound up choosing this read, but my next read, or the one I'm going to start now, is Where Dreams Descend by Janine Angelis. I actually have an arc of this that I got from ALA Midwinter, and it's actually signed to me, but this cover I just really, really like. I know that this book comes out summer 2020. It's from Macmillan. I'm just going to read you guys the back. Moulin Rouge meets Phantom of the Opera. A spectacularly haunting fever dream of a first novel in the kingdom of casuology infused with magic, mayhem, power, and passion. Her smile was a mask, her spell was a spell. A 17-year-old showgirl who's always dreamed of making her mask with the greatest show magician. Driven the allure of stage, she sets her sights on the lost city of glory where passion and chaos both drive her forward and threaten to consume her. So I'm going to start this and let you guys know my thoughts. I am a theater teacher and I love books that have like theater as like a background. So yeah, I'm going to start this and hopefully I'll make a little bit of reading progress tonight on it. But yeah, I'm probably going to wrap up this reading vlog tonight and start like a week reading vlog because it's getting a little bit on the longer side. But yeah, I'm going to go read for a little bit and then I'll check in and probably wrap up this reading vlog. Bye guys. I just wanted to come on and say that this book is another longer read. It's a little bit over 400 pages, but you know what? It's a book that I'm really excited for, and it's one that I think I will fly through with the theater-like elements in it. So that's why I'm going to pick it up, and hopefully, and it's also on my top 10 reads of the year, and one that I would like to review a little bit earlier for you guys, because it has some hot buzz. So yeah, it is definitely on the longer side, but it's a book that I think I could really, really fly through because of the world building and the pacing. The problem with Sherwood is there wasn't a lot of tension that was like keeping me reading. That was more of the problem with that book. This book I think has a lot of tension, and I've heard a lot of awesome reviews about it first. So that's my thoughts about picking this book up, and I'll talk to you guys when I read a little bit more to give you guys my brief thoughts. Here, I'm back. It's almost 9 o'clock on the first day of winter break, which is February 17th. I did say I'm going to end this vlog, and I am going to end this vlog, but I just want to get it to like over 30 minutes. So, I did make a little bit of progress on Where Dreams Descend last night by Janine Angelis. I'm only on page 22. This is like a book kind of like Truth Witch, where you're kind of like thrown into a world, and you just need to like take a couple of pages to like realize what is going on. But I follow this character named Kalia. She works in a world where like women can't be magicians. She lives like in an estate where like they do magic, but if she goes elsewhere, she's not really allowed to do magic. She has a boss named Jack. There's a city named what's the name of it? There's a city named now I won't be able to find it. But there's a city named like Canley, I think. There's a city that she wants to go to that has like the Conquering Circus presents competition magic Glorina. The city name of Glorina that she really wants to go to, but her benefactor is making sure that she stays here. There's a lot of magic in this book that I'm really, really liking. But it's a book that it's like a very, very slow burn to start because you have to get like a lot of information. So I'm only on page 22. I did watch a bunch of TV last night. Like I caught up on the Bull tape, which was really, really good because I was behind on a lot of episodes. I watched the first episode of Lock and Key that I really, really liked. I watched a couple of things on Disney Plus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 30 minutes reading. I'm going to work out and then I'm going to come back. So talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Right here, I'm back. It's almost 11:30. I did run a bunch of errands with my mom. I did a little bit of shopping for my show for this season, which is really, really nice. We're doing Schoolhouse Rock Live Junior, and one of the local craft stores in my area is going totally out of business, so I picked up more things than I normally would have because they were like on sale, which wasn't too bad, so I'm actually excited about that. And I actually did make a little bit of reading progress on Where Dreams Descend by Janine Angelis. I'm got up to page like 43. I'm still just getting into this book. There's like some elements that have happened, some tricks of the story that I'm really enjoying. But it's very much a book where you're kind of thrown into a world and you kind of have to like piece the world together. So I don't really want to talk about it quite yet. I want to give it like at least 100 pages before I kind of give you guys like a summary, because I think the back kind of gives things away a little bit more than like where I'm in the story. So I'm a little bit hesitant to like come up with a summary until I know a little bit more about it. But I am going to go for a quick bike ride because it's actually a nice day out here. It's not that cold. And I'm going to stick in my audiobook that I'm in the middle of listening to. So when I come back, I'm going to let you guys know where I'm at. And then I'm probably going to read for the rest of the day and relax. I have going into the city the next 2 days most likely, so I just wanted to spend today relaxing and reading, and probably catching up on some TV shows that I have neglected. But I'll talk to you guys when I come back from a bike ride. Bye, guys. Here, it's 2:38, and I did wind up reading about 50 pages of Where Dreams Descend. I have to admit, I'm super curious about this book. I like how it's structured like a play. Like there's Act 1, there's Act 2. It's basically Moulin Rouge meets the Phantom of the Opera. It has to do with magic. It has to do about a kingdom that this girl doesn't really know about, but she's determined to go. I'm really liking it. It's definitely a book that I have to like really focus on when I'm reading. One that's a very like captivating read. One that, again, I think I've said this a little bit previously in previous clips. You don't know anything about this world going in. But there's like a magic system. I'm just really liking it. So I'm going to keep reading. I'm actually reading it relatively fast. But it's definitely a book that has a lot of it's definitely like a slower read, I'll say that, but one that I really have to focus on. So I'm going to go back to watching some older booktube videos and reading it, and I will update you guys when I get up to page about 100 and let you guys know. I really don't know anything about this kingdom. I know that there's a magician competition that Callie really wants to enter. And her boss, I would say, who she worked for, was very adamant that she not go to this competition, and I think we're about to find out why. And I think that in this society, female magicians are like prosecuted basically. So yeah, I'm about 54 pages into it, and I'm really liking it. So I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll update you guys in a little bit. Bye, guys. Guys, Lori here. I'm back. It's 5:18. I did wind up going out to eat with my parents. We never get to do that because we're never home the same exact time. So I did that. I am about 103 pages into Where Dreams Descend. This is a fantasy series that I'm really liking. It's one that has a really complicated world. So it's one that you really have to focus on and really pay attention to. And as a first book in a series, you're getting a lot of information because you're being exposed to this world kind of like as a newbie, and your character kind of isn't a newbie in some instances. So some of it you're just kind of like learning like as information pieces come out, which I do like. I love the world. I love it. I love magicians. I love the magic system that's being explored. I am in the process of like cleaning out a bunch of my books, so I think I'm gonna put on a cleaning video and kind of try to do that. I always go to a bunch of conventions. I get a lot of arcs that I don't think I'm gonna read, so that's kind of my next little project for like the next 30 to 40 minutes. But yeah, then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna read Where Dreams Descend, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts. Bye, guys. I'm back. It's almost 6:30. I did do a little bit of cleaning, which was nice. I still have a lot more to do. I'll be very honest. That is the problem with going to so many conventions, and I'm not saying this because I'm sounding conceited or something, or I have so many books. I just do, and it's just the fact. I've been going to conventions for about 4 to 5 years. And the nature of these conventions is you get a lot of books. You just do. If you know how to play the game, which I do, you get a lot of books. So I'm really trying to pare down my collection. I recently went to ALA and I'm going to BEA in a couple of months. So I'm really trying to take my books and really look at them and see, am I going to read it? Am I not going to read it? And also just trying to really decide do I need to keep that book at the end of the day? So that's really a hard part of being a book lover sometimes because, you can't keep everything. So that's what I kind of did. I have a box of books I'm going to get rid of, and then I have another section of books that I still really haven't sorted through. But yeah, I'm going to go back to reading. And yeah, I will update you guys when I make a little bit more progress of Where Dreams Descend. I'm still on page 102, so we'd love to get to page 200. We will see about that, but I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here, I'm actually here to wrap up this reading vlog. I did do all day yesterday in this reading vlog, so this reading vlog will be Tuesday. The next reading vlog will be the rest of my winter break. But I did want to say that I did make a little bit more reading progress on Where Dreams Descend. I'm now on page 132. This book is so rich. It's a very rich, very compelling world. There's a lot of different plot lines, a lot of things you have to pay really close attention to. So I'm going to end this reading vlog and go start my new one. Thank you guys for sticking with me, and I'll see you guys for my next reading vlog. Bye.